Obviously, they've got their issue with Dubois. We'll see what happens, but that's for them to overcome now. And it's a very difficult situation.
Daniel Dubois ill, can't fight. Fighter's health and safety is the most important thing. So I felt for Daniel, but look, if you
Eddie Hearn seems cautious, and rightly so. This isn't just a minor hiccup. It's heavyweight boxing, where even a last-minute change can throw everything off. He understands what's at stake, and replacing Usyk on short notice? That's no simple job. There's something unusual about the whole situation, and Hearn clearly feels it too. Just as tension started rising, Adam Smith added more fuel to the fire, stirring up even more speculation, especially around Dubois' timing.
They don't have to check weigh, and hopefully they can find a replacement if Dubois is out of the fight.
Any heavyweights that you go?
Adam Smith isn't convinced. Dubois getting sick right before the press conference? It reeks of bad timing, or maybe something more suspicious. The speculation here isn't light, it's heavy with doubt. Something just doesn't sit right, and the boxing community can sense it. And it's not just UK analysts raising questions. Teddy Atlas also weighed in, casting doubt on who really wants this fight.
Daniel Dubois gets ill, just around the press conference time, a lot of rumours, speculation.
Teddy Atlas is keeping it real. Usyk isn't worried about who's across the ring. He just wants to fight. Now that Dubois is officially out, there's real pressure to find a worthy replacement. But Teddy's cautious tone says a lot. Is there really anyone who can step up to Usyk's level on such short notice? As rumors turned into facts, Johnny Nelson came forward with a breaking update straight from Frank Warren's team.
And what he wants to do, he wants to fight the best guy available. He was ready to fight the best guy available, the world champion. So give me the next best guy. Well, this guy, you sure? I mean, you want it? Yeah.
And there it is. Johnny confirms that Dubois won't be attending the press conference. No face-off, no appearance, just complete silence. Is it illness, or is there more to the story? We don't know yet. But for a fighter on the biggest stage of his career, this no-show raises more questions than answers. And just when things couldn't get murkier, Nelson's next comment about Dubois' trainer, Don Charles, only adds to the growing uncertainty.
World champion Daniel Dubois is sick and currently being evaluated by the doctor. A replacement is being pursued in the event that he doesn't pass the...
Johnny Nelson's tone says it all. You can feel the shock, the confusion, and that uneasy gut feeling. Just moments earlier, Dubois' trainer sounded upbeat, even hinting that Daniel was ready to speak for himself. Then suddenly, everything unraveled. There's hesitation in Nelson's voice, as if he even is unsure whether this is really happening, or just psychological warfare. He wonders aloud if it's all a smokescreen, a last-minute distraction meant to throw Usyk off. But even if that's true, it's a dangerous gamble. What if Dubois doesn't show up at all? That's when things get truly uncertain. Nelson asks the tough question, can anyone realistically step in last minute to face someone like Usyk? Probably not. It sounds crazy, and yet it reflects what everyone's starting to think. Maybe Daniel Dubois isn't ready, physically or mentally, for this rematch. His absence from a press event might not be just media drama. It could be the early signs of a complete breakdown in Team Dubois.
He was in high spirits saying, Don, you're coming to the press conference. He said, no, I'm letting Daniel do the talking. So this is fresh news, unless you know what, it's a red herring. Unless I'm all right. I'll turn up to fight. I don't know. But what if he doesn't fight? What do we do? It's not the top of the belt. It's still a great belt. Would they be able to get someone in to stand in at short notice?
Frank Warren's frustration is impossible to miss. You can hear it in his voice like a man watching months of hard work fall apart in an instant. This wasn't just any fight on the calendar. It was a carefully built redemption arc for Dubois. A shot at rebuilding his image. A comeback. And now, it's all slipped away. Warren's anger runs deep. Not just because the main event collapsed, but because of what was lost with it. Trust, time, and a serious financial investment. He breaks it down clearly. The money spent on training camps, nutritionists, sparring partners, flights, and logistics, all wiped out in seconds. The disappointment cuts deeper because it didn't have to happen. And what makes it worse? He can't even recover it through insurance. It's a double hit. When Frank says he's very, very disappointed, it's not just business talk, it's personal. He's not one to throw pity parties. So when he sounds like this, you know the situation is serious. And it's not just a blow to him. It affects every fan who believed in the event, every person who bought a ticket, and every fighter who trained for the undercard. Still, Warren keeps his composure, and what he says next may hint at what the future holds for Dubois.
Pissed off. I mean, it was a big fight. He's trained very hard. If you don't fight, you don't get paid. And you imagine the cost involved in a training camp. Booking places to set the camp up, bringing sparring partners in, the nutritionists, the chefs, trainers, and everybody, and you don't get paid. It's a massive loss. You can't insure it, or if you do, it costs a fortune to insure. But very, very disappointing.
Warren's tone shifts here, from frustration to a more measured damage control mode. He's doing his best to reassure fans, sponsors, and stakeholders that Dubois isn't done, that this is just a bump in the road. But let's be real, his words sound more like hope than certainty. When he says once is ready, it's vague. What does ready even mean now? Is it physical readiness, mental strength, or simply having the courage to step back into the spotlight after pulling out days before the biggest fight of his life? Warren mentions Dubois will return to camp soon, but he knows this goes beyond timelines and training sessions. This is about rebuilding a damaged reputation. The world saw Dubois go down against Usyk the first time. This rematch was supposed to be his redemption arc. Now, fans are left with the image of a fighter who disappeared when it mattered most. Whether it was illness, nerves, or something in between, boxing fans have long memories. The real question is, when Dubois makes his return, will anyone believe he's truly ready to face top-tier competition again? And if you think that's the end of it, just wait until you hear what Daniel himself had to say about their first encounter. His words might leave you stunned.
Make our decision afterwards what we're going to do. But Daniel, once he's ready and over his illness, he'll be back into camp and we'll have him out soon.
Dubois still can't shake it. The body shot controversy from the first Usyk fight clearly lives rent-free in his mind. He talks like he was robbed of a rightful win, like something was stolen from him. But here's the hard truth. Champions don't dwell, they evolve. Replaying that moment doesn't erase the image of him taking a knee in front of the world. When Dubois says he'll throw the kitchen sink at Usyk next time, it doesn't sound like strategy. It sounds like desperation. You can tell he's chasing redemption. The question is that enough when you're up against a tactical genius like Usyk? It's one thing to talk about landing shots everywhere, but can Dubois even close the distance, mentally or physically, without getting outclassed again? His comments don't sound like a game plan. They sound like a man still searching for closure. And in elite-level boxing, that kind of mindset can be dangerous. If he gets a second shot, he'll need more than anger. He'll need clarity, control, and purpose. And speaking of mindset, Tony Bellew just dropped a heavy reality check about the inner battles Dubois still has to face.
He's been down a few times with body shots, so yeah, there's definitely this time I've got to throw the kitchen sink at him. Yeah.
Tony Bellew doesn't sugarcoat anything, and when he talks about demons, he means it. Dubois isn't just fighting opponents in the ring, he's battling the ghosts in his own mind. That loss to Usyk wasn't just physical. It left a lasting mental scar. Bellew knows exactly how deep those wounds can run. So when he says Dubois is still the same fighter, it's not praise, it's a warning. The skills are there, no doubt. But in boxing, it's a mindset that wins or loses the war. Bellew's message is crystal clear. If Dubois doesn't return with a completely different mentality, the outcome's already decided. And now that Dubois has pulled out of the rematch, that mental toughness is under even more scrutiny. Fans, analysts, and future opponents will all be watching closely. Has he grown, or has he crumbled under pressure? Bellew respects the sport too much to pretend. If Daniel wants a real comeback, he'll have to face every doubt, every critic, and every label that's been pinned on him. That fight begins long before the opening bell. But the drama doesn't end there. Wait until you hear what Bellew and others had to say about that infamous body shot.
Because that body shot.
But Daniel Dubois has got a lot of demons to revisit, and he's going to revisit them in this fight. I think he's in a different place mentally now than he was before the first fight. I don't want to say he's grown up and mature, because I think he's the same fighter as he was. It's just his mental approach is going to have to be different.
Tony Bellew isn't backing down. He's doubling down on what many had debated since the first Usyk versus Dubois clash. That body shot wasn't clean. It wasn't just painful. It landed right on the belt line. And like many in the boxing world, Bellew didn't like how it was handled. It's called a protector for a reason, he says, and is not wrong. Dubois had his moment. He landed a shot that dropped Usyk, and yet the referee ruled it low. That gave Usyk time to recover, and from that point on, everything changed. The narrative flipped, from Dubois nearly shocking the world to being labeled a quitter again after he went down late in the fight. Bellew's words had weight to the idea that Dubois wasn't just physically stopped, he was robbed of his momentum, and maybe even the win. Still, it's a fine line. One fighter's borderline shot is another's illegal blow. In this sport, perception is everything. Fans saw Usyk hurt. They saw Dubois go for it. But the moment slipped away, and Usyk, ever the pro, came back poised and lethal. Bellew's honesty here reveals just how bitter that fight still feels. And it proves this rematch was never just about revenge, it was about unfinished business. And if you needed more proof that Usyk took this seriously, just wait until you hear what Joe Rogan had to say about that leaked training footage.
He's a 27-year-old veteran. He's experienced everything the boxing can throw at him. He's been dropped, he's been down, he's been stopped, and he's found a way back. And he's now on the back of his biggest ever victories. He's on his best ever run. You know, the victory over AJ was something else.
I'm going to make the case for our man here, what he has to prove. And I think that obviously there was a lot of debate around the last shot. There's been talk of going way back to the amateur days that Usyk doesn't like him to the belly.
That's a BF.
The theory coming out from Team Usyk was that the shot was an illegal shot, below the belt.
What's your thoughts on, do you believe it was illegal? I do.
I thought it was illegal or legal?
I thought it was illegal. It's called a protector for a reason.
Yeah.
He hits the protector.
It's illegal.
Yeah, it's below the navel.
It's a low blow.
What's your thoughts, Carl?
I thought it was alright.
Did you?
Yeah, but I'm back on my man, so you know.
No. We've all got to go on. We've all got to accept this right now. Was it good for you? It wasn't good. It wasn't.
When Joe Rogan, someone who's witnessed every fight style imaginable, pauses in disbelief, you know something special is going on. Usyk's leaked training footage wasn't just impressive, it was jaw-dropping. His speed, footwork, cardio, and precision looked unreal. He moved like a welterweight, but in a heavyweight frame. Rogan couldn't believe the athleticism, and truthfully, neither could the fans. This wasn't a man just preparing for a paycheck. This was someone turning himself into a weapon. The intensity of Usyk's drills, the relentless motion, the balance on pressure, it all screamed one thing: obsession. That's a difference between being great and being a once-in-a-generation fighter. Usyk doesn't just train, he refines. And this footage showed exactly why so many believe that even if Dubois were 100% ready, he'd still be stepping into a mismatch. While Dubois was missing press conferences and dealing with mental uncertainty, Usyk was locked in, no shortcuts, no distractions, just pure discipline. That's what champions are built on. Rogan saw it. We all did. And with Usyk in that kind of form, it's no surprise many thought Dubois wouldn't just lose again. He might not even make it to the final bell. Still, not everyone's counting Daniel out. Amir Khan had something bold to say about what could have happened, and it might just surprise you. Amir Khan is no stranger to the pressure of big fights and is standing firmly behind Daniel Dubois. Calling him a beast and a tough man to beat is a powerful endorsement, especially coming from a former world champion. Khan believes that Dubois learned valuable lessons from the first Usyk fight and that he would have returned smarter, more disciplined, and laser-focused. It's a valid perspective. Most great fighters grow after a loss. But the real question is, has Dubois grown, or has he been haunted by it? Khan is convinced the raw tools are there: power, size, athleticism, no doubt. But having the tools is one thing. Using them under fire, that's where it gets real. And with Usyk, it's not just about skill, it's about resilience. He's unshakable, mentally locked in. To beat someone like that, you need more than potential, you need conviction. Khan's support for Dubois feels genuine, and it's a reminder that boxing, especially in the heavyweight division, lives on redemption arcs. But as things stand, that comeback is once again on pause. And the longer Dubois stays away, the harder it will be to win back fans and prove he belongs among the elite. And just when you thought the criticism had peaked, Usyk himself broke the silence. What he said next: cold, sharp, and brutally honest.
He's a good fighter. He's a hard fighter to beat. And I think he learned from the mistakes he made in the first fight against Usyk, and it will give him a hard fight. Look, he has the tools.
When Usyk speaks, it's rarely personal. But this time, it landed like a clean shot to Dubois' spirit. With unsettling calm, Usyk recalls a criticism. How fans labeled Dubois a quitter after the Joyce fight. How their own bout ended with Daniel on one knee. And then, he leans in. Does he have a weakness? Usyk repeats softly, little bit, yes. It's chilling. He's not shouting. He's not mocking. He's dissecting, like a surgeon who already knows exactly where the no damage lies. Then comes a knockout quote. Daniel, little bit afraid. Those 5 words hit harder than any punch, because they are coming from a man who stood in front of Dubois, felt his strength, and still saw fear in his eyes. Usyk isn't bragging, he's being brutally honest, and in doing so, he reveals a truth many have tried to avoid. This was never just about illness. It's about fear, doubt, mental fragility. And if that's the ground Dubois is standing on, then backing out of the rematch may not be about recovery. It might be about survival.
I think he's a better fighter now than he was the first time he fought.
Maybe, because a lot of years, 2, 3, yeah. Now I think Daniel go.
Do you think
like a boxer, like a man?
Yeah. Does he deserve this opportunity, or is there someone else more deserving? Joe Parker maybe, or does Daniel deserve his shot?
Yeah, I think Daniel deserve, because Daniel from UK. It's interesting for.
What was supposed to be a blockbuster rematch between Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois has spiraled into one of the most chaotic narratives in recent heavyweight history. Just days before fight night, Dubois pulled out, citing illness. But fans aren't buying it. Speculation is running wild. Was it really sickness, or the pressure catching up to a fighter still haunted by past defeats? The controversial body shot, the knee against Joyce, and now this. Dubois' story was supposed to be about redemption, a fighter who learned from his mistakes and came back stronger. Instead, we're left with silence, cancellations, and a thick cloud of doubt hanging over his name. Meanwhile, Usyk remains unfazed, focused, composed, dangerous. Leaked training footage shows a man operating on another level, and the boxing world sees it. If Dubois doesn't return soon, his reputation might be beyond repair. And if he does come back, the pressure will be unrelenting, because fans don't forget. And neither do champions like Usyk. The truth is, this was never just another fight. It was Dubois' chance to prove he belonged among the elite. Now, that chance may be gone for good. Usyk, by contrast, continues building his legacy, unbothered by the drama and ready to face whoever's brave enough to step in. And if it's not Dubois, then it will be someone else. But the question lingers, did Dubois step back to heal or to hide? The ring might be empty this week, but the echoes of what could have been will stay with fans for a long time. So what do you think? Are you still backing Dubois? Or has Usyk already won, without even throwing a punch? White down pointing backhand index, drop your thoughts in the comments.